Hello everybody and welcome to a new season of the Player One Sim Gear Super Formula Lights Championship here at Jerez, where we're kicking off a new season only a few weeks after the end of the last, and what a great season it was. In the end, the championship changing hands in the final round as Liam Kerr took the victory over Danny Davidson by just 30 points after 8 rounds of racing. Well, it's going to be similarly exciting this season, I'm sure, in the sprint series of the FDL Super Formula Light series. And it's myself, Ewan, and James Parfitt to take you through the season as always as well. I'm looking forward to being back, to be honest, James. Really enjoyed last season. It ended with a great championship finale at Zandvoort, and we're at a similar circuit actually here at Jerez. Lots of long sweeping corners where tyre wear is going to be a problem, amongst other things. As we kick off for the next 8 weeks of racing for April and May, we'll be racing again 8 times, deciding a new champion, and I'm very much looking forward to it as well because of last season and the championship finale that we got as well.
Yeah, the finale was amazing, and if you haven't watched it, go and watch it back because it was absolutely incredible. As you say, Liam Kerr taking it by 30 points over Danny Davidson in the last race. There was lots of team play from the Auto Moves Esports boys as well. So it was a great season to end on. This season, though, is going to be, well, it could be better than the last, to be honest, because the schedule is on your screen now. Obviously, round 1, we're here at Jerez, then we're off to Hockenheimring, then we're going to Interlagos. I'm not going to mind that one. Mazzano after that, then Long Beach, Barcelona, Mugello, and we finish off the season at Daytona. Great tracks on the calendar this season as well. I'm not saying there wasn't last season, but there is this season. And I think this is one that I think people are going to get excited for because they've almost gone up in entries as well. You know, we're close. I think it was like 40 people at one point I looked at. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out here. We're just into qualifying at the moment. The guys are out on the racetrack. You see we've had a colour change as well. They've gone from the old traditional green into the gold and silver now, so the groups are gold and silver. So it's going to be an exciting one, regardless of whichever way round it's going to end.
Yeah, that's one of the new things for this season. Let's go through some of them. As you say, we're now split by gold and silver rather than pro and challenger classes, and the silver classes, what was the challenger class, is now called the silver class, is a bit more populated with drivers this season, which is a good thing. So we have more entries overall, actually. Whether it's just going to be the opening round where we have that, or whether that's going to continue on. Hopefully it continues. But we're in the mid-30s today for entries, which is great to see. And of course, the drivers can change between them as well if they do well or not well through the season. They can move up or down into gold or out of gold into silver, etc. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Teams Championship is now restricted to 2 or 3 drivers per team. Teams are allowed to enter multiple teams, but you prevent a situation like what we had at the end of last season in the Teams Championship with Auto Moves Esports, especially, who were all over the place at the front end of the field. And because of the limit on the drivers, they've got to split themselves apart just to increase a bit of competition in the Teams Championship. Race Control will now be handing out penalties in real time, and it will be now time penalties rather than championship points, which were knocked off previously. There's one of the notifications we're going to get over the bottom of the screen as well. No further action for car 808, Daniel Byrne in the Collins Motorsports car. And one other change as well, some new faces have been added to the sprint series, like Daniel Ackland, Jordan Mazzaroli, Marcus Watson, been impressive in pre-season, and the endurance series. There's already been races in the pre-season, and a couple of races in fact. So they're going to be ones to watch. In fact, Daniel Ackland was 3rd overall in official practice not so long ago. Only less than a 10th off Phil Vella's best time, which is what we got in practice. Now, well, that's the practice previous to tonight's practice. Phil Vella is now in front in this qualifying session as well. A low 132 from him, and this is going to be one of the really important circuits for qualifying as well. I can't actually think of any other circuit on this calendar that might be more important. Probably Long Beach, maybe, but other than that, this is really important, this session.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to put it on the front row. That's in regardless of what's just gone on there, it's got to be as high as possibly possible at this circuit. That, you know, and it's one of these circuits where we look back and it's either going to be great racing or there's not going to be many overtakes. It's that kind of makeup of circuit, and you know, a bit like Catalunya is another one that's got that makeup to it as well. But as we've seen in the past, you never know. Anything can happen. So we're looking forward to seeing how they get on here as well. Time's going to start coming in thick and fast at the moment. Jordan McDonnell is in the car at the moment as well in qualifying.
How do you remember how to say his name?
I nearly forgot. It was nearly McDonnell, to be blatantly honest. But no, it's McDonnell, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. Over the line for him. 17th place. Oh, no, moves up to 8th. I didn't think he was even on a lap, but he moves up to the top 10. And that will be pleasing for him just over 5 minutes before the end. Tom Donoghue is in the silver class to begin with this season. I almost find that hard to believe, but he's currently up to 7th place. Phil Vella, meanwhile, is taking a purple sector in Sector 2 right now and could get quite close to the pole. Having said that, Danny Davison is also on a quick lap, so Vella's going to go pretty close to his previous best, but I'm not sure it was... Oh, it was a bit quicker. He goes up to 2nd, but Davison goes a bit quicker as well. He's done a 32.0, just gets his nose a little bit further in front. Liam Kerr, who won the championship 1 season ago, is currently in 4th place. So we can see the familiar faces up towards the front again. Well, there goes Kane Ryder, not a familiar face, but not from last season anyway. Moves up to 2nd place, but and Lee Zeltwanger, who is, and he moves up to the pole. It's a very topsy-turvy session at the moment, and it's changing all the time. It is going to be about who can stay consistent throughout the season, though. We saw plenty of different drivers take victories last season, and it's about the consistency that is going to get you up towards the front. We'll see who can manage that over the course of this season, who can start well here tonight.
Yeah, that's the important thing as well. You had me doubting myself that I'd put him in the wrong class then, but I've actually checked. He is actually there, and he is in silver. There's a couple of people that have gone from the, I'm going to call them pros and AMs. So it was in the pros last season's come down into AMs. Josh Marsh, who won the AMs, hasn't actually gone up. He's still in the same class as well, along with Tristan McLaren there. Dougie Gowans has come down into silver. Scotty Pocock, I think, was also as well, has dropped down. So there's a couple of others that have dropped down, but I think that's due to the fact that the strength of the field has improved massively in the gold class. So I think that's also probably one of the reasons.
I think one of the perhaps bigger reasons actually is the fact that let's put it this way: 44 drivers scored points last season, did at least a race, and Josh Marsh finished 20th overall, even though he won the Challenger class. Everybody scores points from the same tree, and so it is relevant, to look at the standings as to what they were last season. Now that's only just above halfway. So even though he was the Challenger class champion, and I know why you're saying that, he would normally be promoted, and you're probably right, but it's a bigger bottom class this season, is what I'm getting at. And that means that Josh Marsh has stayed in the silver. And I think that's probably the right thing to do, to be honest, because last season the Challenger class had 8 drivers in it. Not very many drivers at all. The fact that they were all scoring points in one big point system was a helpful thing, because otherwise nobody would have gained points than anybody else. It would have been very, very difficult indeed. So the fact that Josh Marsh is 20th probably explains a lot. Donoghue last season only finished 15th himself. He was about 50 odd points ahead of Josh Marsh, so while that gap looks really big at the moment, it's actually not very large in terms of the skill gap between the top and the bottom drivers. I would say that Donoghue's probably towards the top end of the silver class, and he was probably unlucky to miss out on gold, and Josh Marsh will be in there as well, but there wasn't a very big gap between them last season. There won't be again here, and I think that gap at the moment is it's a little bit false for Tom Donoghue. He's got a lot of cars between himself and second in silver.
Yeah, I think it's all relative at this moment in time, isn't it? is we talk about it like it's going to be a major thing, and I think at the end of the day, it's round one, and let's see how he gets on. You know, Tom last season had a couple of good qualifying, and then his race went out the window. You know, so he could qualify all the way up in 13th where he is at the moment, and he could end up at the back by the time he's finished, as could them two cars that were sitting in the wall over on the right hand side just there. So, you know, I think I'd be more worried about it a little bit later on. Oh, that's Vaughan rider has just unfortunately spun the car up. Angus Milne is out on the racetrack at the moment as well. There's a couple of others. There's no real improvements. I think as the qualifying goes on, it just sort of peters out a little bit. But yeah, I think I'd worry about it by sort of round 3, round 2, round 3, maybe, to see where everybody is, I think, in general.
It took us a long time last season to work out who was actually going to be up towards the front last season. So if it's as topsy-turvy as that was, then, well, it could take longer than that. We'll see. A good afternoon, by the way, or good morning, rather, in Europe to Tony Jimenez. It's just going towards lunchtime in Europe. The fact that the clocks have changed, I'm not sure everyone in Australia and New Zealand are aware of this. We get an hour closer, or 2 hours rather, closer to you, which is a bit weird. Or the other way around, depending on which way you want to look at it. But it effectively means that in Central Europe and Eastern Europe, it's quite a nice lunchtime viewing at the moment. In the UK, it is still morning, but in Central and Eastern Europe, it's quite a nice sort of lunchtime watch. And Tony Jimenez has said as such as well that he's watching us while he's having lunch, which is a good thing. Good afternoon to him. Doing a bit of learning, I would imagine. He is in a series that we broadcast here on this YouTube channel on Sunday nights, and he's doing very well in it this season, I've got to say. Whether he's doing any learning from this, I'm not entirely sure, but he's here at least. And a good afternoon indeed to everyone who is, especially in Europe, enjoying lunch.
Yeah, it's 11:45 apparently for Tony.
Yeah.
So,
out of the final corner for Curtis Webb. There's going to be some late improvements here. Well, not from Webb. There was from Zeltwanger. That's why he's only 11 thousandths behind Jack Mara, but he didn't quite get over in terms of lap time there. Phil Vella has slipped to ninth in the last few moments. He hasn't improved at all recently, and all of a sudden he's down into ninth position. Flavio Dantas is right behind him, benefiting from the slipstream, but not going any quicker himself. Can Vella go any faster? Because he's only 2 attempts off pole, even though he is down in at ninth place at the moment. Here comes Vella. Oh, and he goes to the top. He pulls it out right when he needs it, and Flavio Dantas follows him as well. It's 1 and 2 for Vella, and Dantas pulled it out at the end after laps of not improving. Phil Vella's taken the pole.
Yeah, Will Ryan looks like he's on an improvement coming in as well. There was a race control message that popped up there at the bottom. There was a penalty for impeding during qualifying. So I wasn't quite sure who that was, but there was a 10-second penalty for impeding during qualifying.
It flashed up too quickly for me to see. Marcus Watson also moves up to second place, by the way. 5 thousandths ahead of Dantas, so it's a good improvement from him. I'm not sure. No, Liam Kerr's not going to improve from there. And so that's going to be the end of qualifying. For everyone wondering what the new classes are about, it's not Pro and Challenger anymore. On the left-hand side, the gold numbers are indeed the gold drivers, the top class. And the silver numbers are the silver drivers, the second class. It's car 75 who's got the penalty, and it's Danny Davison, the runner-up last season, the man who went into the final round of the season at Zandvoort at the end of last month, or the start of the last month, whatever it was, leading the championship. He's already got a 10-second time penalty for minor impeding in qualifying.
Yeah, yes, unfortunately for him. So a little bit of a naughty boy right at the beginning there. And he's got a penalty for that one. Right, let's bring you up the grid for round number 1.
Yeah, there it is. Phil Vella, 21 thousandths ahead of Marcus Watson. Both of them late lap times. In fact, the top 3 late lap times, including Flavio Dantas as well, to move into the top 3 places in the session. Jack Mara was on pole, towards the very end, but ends up fourth. Lee Zeltwanger and Kane Ryder will be on row 3 ahead of Danny Davison and Liam Kerr. The championship rivals are back together again on row 4. Curtis Webb is ninth ahead of silver pole sitter Will Ryan. I told you it wasn't going to be Tom Donahue's way. Seth Burkchartz is one of our new drivers this season and is just outside the top 10 with Craig Edwards just alongside. Angus Milne and Mark Healy are going to be on the next row ahead of Jordan McDonnell and Tom Donahue, who is next in silver, second in silver. David Gallo and Scott Bartiner on row 9, together ahead of Jordan Mazzaroli and Vaughan Ryder running out the top 20. Marcus Knitzer is fourth in silver and he's 21st overall ahead of new driver Daniel Ackland for Synergy Sim Racing. Daniel Byrne is 23rd ahead of Scott Pocock in 24th. Quite a long way down for him. Then it's Josh Marsh and Douglas Gowans and all silver row 13. In fact, everyone in silver is just below this right now. It's Douglas Gowans, Tristan McLaren, Jake Robillard, Jason Madden, Adrian Loretti, Chris Rodling, Brett Douglas, Ben Ryder and Darren Fahey. The 35 drivers in the field. Don't worry about those at the bottom end. We may have safety cars if indeed the race control deem it necessary. I think we had 2 last season, the Red Bull Ring and Spa. Can't remember any others. But
no.
Made the race exciting, especially at Spa.
It definitely did. I agree. And I think going forward, it's something that every other league should put in, to be honest. I think it's awesome on that one. So there we go. If you're listening, people out there. So there you go. Oh, well, they're alive stewards. Yes, Tony. They're alive stewards. There we go.
Yep. We've got it all here.
Yep.
35 drivers then, not very well lined up, I've got to say. It's a bit wonky, but never mind. The lights are about to come on for the start of a new season. It's the Player One Sim Gear Super Formula Lights Championship. 8 weeks over the next 2 months will decide another champion as Phil Vella gets underway from the start of this race immediately into the lead. Watson looking to switch from the outside to the inside on the outside of the front row, and he can't do it. Flavio Dantes will try and capitalise on that as a result, but he's going to find that difficult in towards turn 1 and 2. In fact, Watson's alongside Vella in towards turn 2, and they're going to run side by side through the first sector. Vella immediately getting Marcus Watson all over him here, and he is going to go through Watson. Good indeed overtake there from Watson. Here comes Dantes and Mara. They will get into line. What a start from Watson on the outside of the front row.
Yeah, great start from him. Not a good start for Marcus Knitzer. Unfortunately, he's had a bit of a drama and he's on his way back through Jake Warrard, Jason Madden, sorry. And now they're trying to go free wide through the right-hander and into the left now.
Dantes there was looking down the inside and just about missed out. If he'd have stuck his nose down the inside, that would have been trouble. Watson, though, will be back down the inside of Vella here. He lost the lead into the hair, but he's going to win it back again round the double left-hander before the final sector. Oh, and Dantes going to try and follow through as well. What a lively opening lap this is to the season. Watson leads ahead of Vella. Dantes, Mara, Zeltwanger rounds out the top 5. In fact, at the front of the field right now, we've got top 9 calling all over each other as the chicane comes in. Somebody's missed it. Somebody's missed the chicane. I think it's Edwards. He's certainly dropping down, Craig Edwards. And there you go. He'll have a big slowdown after that.
He definitely will. He's going to have to try and get that off at the moment. He's also having a bit of a blink. Oh!
Oh, no.
Scotty, was that?
In the middle of the road.
Scotty Pocock.
And Loretti's around. Oh, my word.
I think
it's all happening into the final corner. Robillard, Madden and Knitzer have all been off on the opening lap already. So let's have a look at some of the things that have gone on lap 1, rather.
Edwards on the inside.
Oh, no. Yeah. And there is Pocock being hit in the rear. He was in the other red car, and that's why he spun round. There's Pocock. So Robillard, Madden and Knitzer, as I mentioned, all went off in the first sector. That's why 2 of them are down the back end, and that's why they were, unfortunately, third last, second last and last in the field. This is what happened. 3 wide in towards turn 5. Oh, ouch! Robillard was the innocent bystander in that one. I think it must have been Madden then who was the one who got up onto 2 wheels there.
Yeah, I think it was, and that's just one of the things that happens when you got that amount of cars trying to go free wide into a corner. It's never normally good, but Watson and Vella escaping at the front with Flavio Dantes in behind. The interesting thing, Flavio has got an Australian flag this time, not a Brazilian one, as he is from, well, he's from Brazil living in Australia. So there we go.
It did confuse me. I thought, what on earth is he doing up at whatever time in the morning it is in
5
Brazil?
in the morning or something, we worked it out, wasn't it?
This season not so bad because the race starts at 10 to 6, or 10 to 7 rather, which is not that bad. But last season, races would have been starting at, what, 4:30? Yeah, so it would have been a disaster. Anyway, into the pit lane for Kane Ryder and also Craig Edwards as well, two, excuse me, two gold drivers coming into the pit lane already. Now, in case you're not familiar with this series and you've never seen it before, the fuel set is, or fuel load is not limited in this series, and you might be wondering over 45 minutes why they have to pit in the first place. Well, the setups these guys use and are obligated to use are all fuel limited in a sense of they can't actually go very long on fuel, about 25 laps around here, which is quite a long way, but it is going to mean they have to make a pit stop before the end of the day. But also the fact there's no limit means that they can make the pit stop immediately in the race and still make it to the end. Mark Healy, meanwhile, has ended up off the road. I can tell you also that who was dropping down a moment ago? Not Kane Ryder. Somebody from the gold standings was dropping down a second ago, just while I was talking about fuel loads and all that kind of thing. I don't know who it was, though, to be honest with you. So we'll try and work that out. It was some sort of off-track moment for someone down towards the bottom end of the top 10 in the last couple of moments.
Craig
but anyway,
Edwards jumped straight back to pit lane. He went into pit lane and then jumped to pit lane. I'm not quite sure what he got himself up to. Steph Burkhart's also been off the side of the track. Thomas Donohue's also been off the side of the circuit. Well, actually, what's he been up to? Because he's been off the side of the circuit about 3 times there.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, okay. I didn't think Donohue was involved in it. It's up there. That's what I saw. And almost in sympathy there, Tom Donohue going around. Almost no relation to the actual incident that happened up ahead here. But it was Jordan McDonnell. Now, did he make the contact or did the driver in front of him do the spin? It was. Oh, wow! I think he got away with that, McDonnell. I know the front wing disappeared, but I think he just about did a good enough job of avoiding there. He's down to 15th place. But that was a pretty big spin. And unfortunately, really, I didn't think the traction through turn 3 was actually so difficult. But clearly, that 2 drivers doing the same mistake in one go there.
Yeah, definitely, and I think maybe it's just sort of that area of putting the power down a little bit too early, and that's caused what the problem is. So I think for them guys, they're going to have to try and come back through, but they're starting pockets of battles. Will Ryan doing a great job for the silver class at the moment. He's up into 9th. He's ahead of Mr. Ryder. Let's bring you up the first name, otherwise you're all going to get confused because there's 2 riders in there. That's Vaughan Ryder is in the other silver, sitting in 2nd place, but he's got Angus Milne and Jordan. Oh no, he hasn't, because he's just gone off the side of the circuit. So I don't know if you want to put that down to commentator's curse or whatever, but I was just saying how well he was doing.
Yeah, well, he's still got the lead at least, but there is Vaughan Ryder now right in behind. McDonnell was able to slip through, but Vaughan Ryder is now just in behind as well. Danny Davison, meanwhile, comes into the pit lane early on. It's a brave call from Davison, the runner-up last season, but he knows what he's doing. That's for sure. As I mentioned before, as the no further action taken from that incident at the start, that's the 3-driver incident towards turn 5 that we watched a couple of moments ago. Yes, it is a fuel load that is set the same for everybody, meaning that you can't make it to the end of the race on without a stop, but also you can make the stop whenever you want. The problem with limiting the fuel and letting everybody start with a full tank of at least limited fuel sort of limits the pit window. But the great thing about this series, I think it's one of the best things actually about this series, is that the pit window is so wide. In fact, any time between now and lap 24 rather, we're expecting the pit stop to be made. Now lap 24 could come in with about 10 minutes to go, maybe less.
And that's one of the things that we're going to get to be able to look out for at the same time. You can see Phil Vella a little bit further up there, closing all over the back of Watson. Very close to Watson indeed, as they go around the right-hander and then onto the Ayrton Senna chicane, which is here as well on this version of this racetrack. Now, some people don't run it, they run around the outside like you can see on the left there, but we've got the chicane here for them to deal with at the same time. So it's going to be very interesting. I think that pit fuel cycle, with the likes of some of the people who have been in, like Danny Davidson as well, taking an early stop. Blinken was screaming last season at the last race for him to take an early stop to get out of the group of the auto moves, and he didn't, and ended up losing the championship. I don't know if that was a factor, but for us up here, we were screaming for him to go and take the early stop, and he just didn't, to get out of the auto moves group of, I think it was like 4 or 5 of them, wasn't there, set out the front end.
Yeah. There was loads of them. Yeah, I sort of, by the end of the race, and I know that, you know, we were saying that at the time, and it might have helped, but I think he just didn't have the speed on that night, unfortunately, and no matter what he would have done on pit strategy, it would have taken quite something. You've got to remember the actual gap at the end is 30 points between Kerr and Davison. You know, that's not an insignificant margin. That's a third of a race win, really. 100 points for a race win. 30 points, not quite a third, but you know, it's a pretty big gap by the end, as Scott Bartine got through. The point being, you know, Davison didn't quite miss it, although he did miss out on the championship in a fairly close margin, and it was still in his hands. A top two in any circumstance would have been good enough for him on that final night. But actually, when you look back at the race results, it wasn't like there was one position separating him in the championship. You know, it would have taken quite something, really.
Yeah, definitely, I do agree. But as I say, you know, who knows how it would have turned out? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. To be blatantly honest with you, one of the things they have got to look for is, well, you see the debris on the right hand side there, it's slowly closing in on the racing line, so they've got to be a little bit careful of that, because there is no grip out on the debris since they brought it in, and well, it's played a massive part, to be blatantly honest, in some of the racing, because you're not able to go too wide on the outside at certain points either because of the debris there. You just haven't got the grip. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that, and whether or not that's going to keep coming in. This is a battle down in 15th, 14th and 13th. That's Dan Byrne in front in 14th place. His gold is up 9 places at the moment. Biggest gainer, Darren Fahey, up 15 places so far from the beginning. He started right dead last as well, so fair play to him.
Very good start for him. And how much further can he work his way forward? He's now quite advanced position now in the silver class. Yeah, just on the gravel, by the way, I've got to say, iRacing made it look a lot better than what it was when it was introduced for the first time. I think it was for the first season this year, 2025. And, you know, it was all over the circuit, and the cars were picking up so much dust and whatever. It looked like they were almost having engine failures constantly.
Oh, yes.
At certain circuits, like I remember doing a race at Mugello quite soon after. It was on this channel quite a while ago, and the whole race looked like everyone had engine failures the whole time, and it looked terrible. But they've got rid of that now as well, which is a good thing, and it is still retaining that challenge as well. While I've been babbling on about that, no further action for number 28 in the meantime. Will Ryan's just gone off the road and has lost another few places. Now Vaughan Ryder is actually leading. I was just about to say that he'd recovered from his earlier incident quite well. It was down into this corner as well, so I wonder whether this is going to be same again. Oh, it is, but it's a little bit more dramatic this time round. Goes off a little bit wide, or is that the incident we saw earlier?
No, it is. No, that's a different one.
It's so similar, I thought we were seeing the same replay again. He's literally done just the same thing again, though.
No, it was a different one on that one. I do remember that Mugello race because we both shouted he's blown an engine, and then he carried on. And we both looked like a couple of lemons because we got it wrong, but it was the dust from the particles that was being picked up. So, yeah, there we go. Quite interesting to see. Flavio Dante's doing a great job sitting in third at the moment. He has got Zeltwinger and Mara in behind, with Liam Kerr in behind that as well. So there are Auto Moves, but they are in separate teams. We've got Auto Moves Esports, we've got Auto Moves Racing Team Changey, Auto Moves Racing Team Snackcatcher, apparently.
Nice, okay.
Well, there we go.
The end's going to get more ridiculous as the seasons go on, to be honest with you.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I'll just look at Robert Ridgway with his blinking aliens.
Well, he has shortened that, but we haven't changed our graphics at the moment. I think they're down to like just astronauts or something now. I can't remember.
I can't remember what he's done, but he's done something with his team name, and I know it was Ridgway Racing Setups, and then there was Aspiring Aliens or something. I don't know. Ridgway having fun there.
I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing him again, unfortunately, this season. As I say, the time change. When we go forward in the Northern Hemisphere, Australia go backwards. In fact, most Southern Hemisphere countries don't actually bother changing at all, which I think is probably better. But anyway,
I did find out the other day regarding time changes. Sorry to interrupt, but Melbourne don't change their times at all.
What?
Apparently,
that can't be true.
No, apparently so. Apparently so. Melbourne don't change their time
we
zones.
need to fact check that.
Okay, fact check me.
Is that true? So, somebody from Melbourne will be able to tell us.
Yeah.
somebody from Melbourne who watched this. Anyway, Josh Marsh is
He's just come out
in
of pit
trouble,
lane.
out of the, oh dear. And he goes for a spin, unfortunately, for the Challenger champion. Going to be difficult for him to repeat that title as we spoke about, for the reason we spoke about earlier on. This is Tristan McLaren, who challenged him last season in towards turn one. He just broke a bit late and, well, spun round on the inside line. Good avoidance there from whoever that was, but Tristan McLaren is now down to... where has he got to in the field? 25th now. He's still yet to make his stop. He's actually behind Davison, who has made his stop, and he's in traffic, which could be a problem for Danny Davison. One more thing, by the way, about the Melbourne thing. Time changes are not done by city; it's done by state. And I can't remember what state it's in Melbourne's in, but I'm sure that's what you mean. Yeah, I'm going to just ask someone from Melbourne to tell us whether that's true or not, because that feels like it can't be real.
No, I haven't made it up.
I don't know.
I was told.
Okay. Okay. I've never heard that before. It is done by state though in Australia, and it's different across the country, which is exceptionally helpful. I can imagine. Anyway, meanwhile, the battle for the lead continues. The first third of the race just knocked off now. Lap 10 is currently being completed, and Phil Vella still leading the way with 5 drivers all behind him at the moment. Watson, Dantas, Seltwanger, Maron and Liam Kerr. He's rounded out the and I suppose Curtis Webb as well as there in the top 7. Looks like to me they're all saving a bit of fuel now, and they are settling in for a long run here. They are, at the moment, if they continue on this, they are putting Danny Davison out the race because he is going to be stuck in traffic. Last time around did a 33.5. These guys were in the 32s, so Davison's going to struggle to stay with these guys if he continues to be in traffic like he is at the moment.
Yeah, great little battle taking place down there. I have been told that the Australian had told me that Melbourne doesn't change daylight. Oh, it's Queensland that don't do daylight savings. So there you go. Oh, okay. So it was an Australian that told me, mind you, on that one. Drive through for car 9 for racing rules. A major incident apparently. That's Will Ryan. So there we go. Not sure what Will got himself into. A bit of a naughty boy, but whatever he did, he's been naughty and got himself a drive-through. So there you go. So Queensland doesn't do daylight savings. So okay. I don't know where it's Melbourne. Where is Melbourne? Melbourne's in Victoria apparently. There we go.
Thank you for that.
I love the fact that YouTube chat started talking more about the time zones than we have done about the racing as well. So, you know what I mean? Yes, on that one. It was an Australian that told me, so maybe he needs to do some learning as well, to be blatantly honest on that one. But Hamish Monroe, if you're watching, you got it blinking wrong, son, and you're in Australia.
Dear, oh dear. What a nightmare. You're also going to have to tell us what ACT means.
I
don't know what that means.
I've got it in front of me.
Central time? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Move on the inside.
There we go. Now the inside for Lee Seltwanger, meanwhile, for 3rd place on Dantas. And he's not quite fully through just for the moment. Outside line for Will 2 in 1. And that was side-to-side contact. He only just got away with that. Normally, side-to-side contact, wheel-on-wheel contact ends with somebody off the ground.
Yeah, no, they didn't lock wheels, they just banged them. So it was sidewall to sidewall, so that was quite lucky for them guys. Seth Burchess has been off the side of the circuit at the as well, unfortunately for him. And, did he change tyres?
Whoa! Traffic, and there you go.
Ouch!
Oh dear! And the rear wing just pops off as well, briefly as well. That's awkward. It's a pretty awkward pit exit here, to be honest with you. They need some sort of rule about where you can stay as a when you're exiting pit lane. There's no blend line like what you would normally have. There needs to be one through the middle of the circuit there, I think, to be honest, through the first corner. But anyway, that's unfortunate. I think the idea is that the drivers already on the circuit should be able to see what's going on. But it's difficult, really, to do that when you're already committed to the corner. This is Tristan McLaren.
Oh, big snap.
Whoa, another... Oh, I was about to say nearly saved it from being another spin, but it was a half spin, unfortunately for him, into the gravel through turn 9, that is, and then turn 10 as well. Down in towards the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. And no change here as Phil Vella just seems to turn the pace on slightly now. On lap 12, the gap's just getting slightly larger.
Yeah, it is.
Out the front.
Yeah, it's leaving the Zeltwinger and Dantes to battle away as well. I love box stuffs. He's given us a right proper history lesson. Australians' capital territory, basically New South Wales and Victoria, couldn't decide where to put Parliament, so they made a territory in the middle. There we go. We learn more and more every day. Look at the gravel on that corner as well, going through that right-hander. Oof. That's going to be a dodgy one as the race goes on. We've got 26 minutes left of action. Curtis Webb still on the back of the group as well. We've got auto moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 auto moves. One, two, three, 4 auto moves already sitting in the top 7. And as Jordan McDonnell sitting down in 10th, so another one down there at the same time. So lots of action taking place, and at the moment it's Marcus Watson is becoming a little bit of the cork in the bottle as David Gallo has just cleared Angus Milne there going down into the left-hander of Lorenzo.
Yeah, they are doing well at the moment, Automoves Esports, as they so often do, towards the front of this field. In fact, only one positional change in the top 5 so far. It's a real nail-biter at the moment because the real action is still yet to come here. We've seen a good opening lap, and it was an exciting first lap, but not too many positional changes out front. But now a significant moment may well have happened. Phil Vella's got a second away from Marcus Watson, and suddenly the battle's going to spring into life again here. Flavio Dantas down the inside. He fended off Zeltwanger not that long ago, and now he's making a move of his own. He's up to second place, but Phil Vella has got that all-important gap. He's broken the slipstream at the front of the race now.
Yeah, he's a second up the road. Answer to your question, Box, there is actually 5 of them altogether in the top 10, but there is them 4 together on the racetrack. They are all part of different team. Well, they're all part of auto moves, but they've all got different team names in conjunction with the team point standing change that we had introduced over the break.
Yeah, it's a change for second place in then. Flavio Dantas up into that position ahead of Watson, and then there's a queue behind. You'd imagine Automoves are going to be making some moves now. That's Flavio Dantas' through. Looks like Watson's just struggling to stay with the others as they come over the line here under the slightly strange pit building and in towards turn 1. That's Dantas fetting the fastest lap of the race so far, by the way. There's no further action on the bottom of your screen there between 38 and 24. I'll try and work out who they are. They haven't quite learnt all the numbers yet because it's a new season, and so anyway, we'll get to the bottom of that. But this is changing at the front of the race now. Vella with a second briefly. Dantas is trying to prevent that from happening, and you'd imagine Zeltwanger is going to be going for a move in towards the hairpin here. There's surely going to be a chance down the inside. And he knows it as well, Watson. Zeltwanger knows he has to make it now, and he does dive down the inside. This is turning a little bit difficult now for Marcus Watson.
Yeah, it is at the moment. He's going backwards. I wonder if he's cooked his tyres all at the same time. That 38 and 24 is Vaughan Ryder and Seth Burkatz. I wonder if that was Burkatz's exit out of pit lane that may have caused that issue for them, but these guys still continuing to fight. And Watson, after his great start and great battling at the beginning, just looks like he may have cooked his tyres just a little bit, because unfortunately he is going backwards, and he's now got Jack Mara in behind him as well. Jack famous for his Spa fly-off, and Jack in space it was on that race at that particular time as well, as he went straight over the barrier at Malmedy.
I'm sure he'd like to be known for something else, but
unfortunately, there isn't. When you make a signature move like that, where you're about 20 feet off the ground, and you're just flying in a straight line as well. There wasn't any rotation in the car either, if I remember correctly. He just launched, and for Jack at Spa. So yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of what I remember him for.
Nearly finished third last season. There's only 11 points off Dantas. So you know, it's not all crashing for Jack Mara. It was a good season in terms of results last time as well, but it was quite spectacular at Spa. If you ever want to go back and watch a race from last season, then either the final one, which was obviously the great championship finale, but also the race at Spa had a great finish to it. Anyway, that's all last season. New season up ahead here, and so oh wow, that was close. Webb there was very nearly hit by Liam Kerr. That would have been awkward between the teammates down in towards the hairpin, but Liam Kerr just about pulled it up in time, our reigning champion.
Yeah, he just about got that stop then, because otherwise that would have been straight into the back end, unfortunately. So they've got to be a little bit more mindful about what they're doing. If Kerr is quicker, it might well, for Curtis Webb, I would probably allow him to go through, but they're all settling in at the moment. Vaughan Ryder is in down in the silver class. He's with Loretti, and Loretti sitting in second. And amazingly, Fahey up 21 places, leading the silver class from the back, and it's taken him 15 laps to do so. So Darren Fahey, well, he's not put it either, mind you, whereas Vaughan Ryder has, but, you know, come on. Give a guy props. That's a massive gain already over the first part of the race.
It's a huge gain for him, and a great drive so far from Fahey. Ben Ryder, unfortunately, has got a drive-through penalty for major racing rules violation. Try and get some clarification on which rule, but that's going to drop him further down. He's already 29th. He has made his pit stop, but he's a long way down in the field. We've still got 31 cars running. Josh Morrison, unfortunately, out the race, the Challenger champion. Kane Ryder has been in the pit lane for over 10 minutes. Jason Madden is maybe making his way back out again after 17.5 minutes. Well, I'm not sure. Craig Edwards has only done 2 laps and he's retired from the day. Vaughan Ryder, meanwhile, loses out to Danny Davison, who's still stuck in traffic here. Last time round, he was actually quicker than Vella, it was Davison, but for the most part, he's been slower. And you referenced the season finale with Davison and whether this is maybe a reaction to that. I personally don't think it is. I think he's just reacted to the race situation that he's seen in front of him here today, and he has decided to pit in early, but I just don't think it's worked. I think the amount of traffic he's found himself in is going to be too much.
Yeah, I think it is at the moment. I'm just trying to get clarification from the guys up in RC about some of the rules that they're breaking. But at the moment, for Danny Davison, where is he at this moment in time? He's all the way down in 14th. He's got a bit of a clear track. He can pick them off one by one, mind you. So not too dramatic, but Liam Kerr in pit lane now. So Liam has gone in, and Marcus Watson has lost another place to Curtis Webb. Oh, God. Just as we talk about it. Oh, Jack, what did you do?
Contact. Oh, it's on the power. Oh, and good avoidance from both of them. Actually giving his teammate a position there, but I'm not sure that's not how he wanted to do it at all, and he had to wait to get going again as well. McMurray is down to 10th after letting those guys go through. So it's a shame for Mara. He drops out of this group now. It's been very bizarre, I've got to say, how Marcus Watson's suddenly fallen out of this group. I mean, this race in second place on the outside of the front row, did lead briefly as well. Vella took that off him, but now all of a sudden Watson doesn't seem to have any answer for Vella at all, and he's more than 5 seconds off the lead now.
Yeah, he's got nothing for him. Vella has just gone and motored away. As I say, I do wonder whether or not Watson's burnt his tyres, and that is what's caused the problem. But unfortunately for him, Dantes is the only one that's managed to go with him. Zeltwing is just in and around them, so it could be a Zeltwing, a Webb, Dantes, Vella battle. Liam Kerr has come out in traffic, which is not good. He's come out behind Adrian Loretti, and Danny Davidson has just tucked in right behind him. So Davidson wasn't able to jump Liam Kerr, but he has come out on the fact that his tyres are already up to pace. Is he going to make it around the outside? They are going to battle.
Whoa.
Oh, Kerr's gone round. Davidson's gone off.
Oh, and Davidson probably saw that coming. Probably saw that coming there on the outside, because he almost ran himself off the road, and Liam Kerr, oh wow, very nearly hit there by Tom Donahue. And then coming through is, Ackland. Oh God, I don't know, maybe it was Donahue. Anyway, Kerr spins around again, and
Ryan
he now gets back on in 21st position. What a disaster that is for Liam Kerr. As you say, tyres not quite up to temperature just yet. There's the drive-through details for number 10, Racing Room not provided on the exit, car number 10. That's sure why that one's got a penalty. That's Ben Ryder, who we were talking about earlier on. But Liam Kerr goes around, and well, he was ahead of Davison. I think that's the good thing for everybody else in this group. Liam Kerr pitted in from last out of the 7. Now be 6, of course, because Mara has spun round. But last out of the group, Liam Kerr came in, and he was still ahead of Davison. It's just the spin now, obviously, that's put him behind.
Yeah, it has, but it'd be good news for everybody else. But, you know, when you come out and they're battling, and they were battling in the championship last season, you know, there was a kind of a sense of urgency for Liam Kerr to get on his bike a little bit, but he just couldn't quite do that on the fact that obviously if he has changed tyres, which we think they may do because of how bad the tyre wear is, that he just couldn't get the power down quick enough, and unfortunately that was one of the incidents that he had. But Chris Swadlin, Daniel Accident and Jordan Mazzola are fighting it out here at the same time. Vella, McDonnell and Mara all in pit lane.
They are getting towards the end of that first run now of the season. Only 5 laps away from the absolute limit, I think, now in terms of fuel, but they might not even wait that long. Somewhat surprising that Vella has decided to come in already here, but let's see whether he comes out in front of the likes of Davison here. Oh, he's going to get through, but that's not going to be too much of a surprise. Careful on the exit here.
No,
These two are going to be close. Yeah, Davison's miles behind. I don't think he was going to be anywhere near, and he's not for the moment. Danny Davison, 5 seconds or so behind Phil Vella. So it's going to be between Vella, Dantas and Zeltweger, I think, 1, 2 and 3. I think Davison, is going to be 4th, but he's not going to be even in the battle for the lead.
No, Darren Fahey did what I expected him to do. Both of them from Downforce Racing, and Fahey was like, nope, off you go, son. And he moved straight over and let Vella through there. So, yeah, nice little bit of team play from Darren Fahey, allowing him through. But, however, Fahey has gained 25 positions, so he is doing rather well for himself. Daniel Ackland and Jordan McDonnell are having a nice little battle as they're on the run here. And nothing doing at the moment for Ackland. He can't clear McDonnell, who has got Mazzaroli in front of him.
There's been an incident between Donoghue and Mara, because Jack Mara's still off the road here, and you're not allowed to tow without race control's permission. So we will check in here as to whether the safety car is going to be required. But it's pit exit again. This pit exit is a liability, and Mara has gone into the wall pretty hard there. He's not going to go anywhere. Now then, do we require the safety car? I can see the safety car pulling out onto the circuit. It's pit stop time for everybody here, and Flavio Dantas has missed it again. Oh my word. Flavio Dantas has gone past pit lane. He has not taken this opportunity. This is exactly what happened at the Red Bull Ring. In the start of last season, he was leading this race. He didn't make the pit stop when he needed to, and he is going to come out. Well, the safety car hasn't picked him up yet, so he might get away with this. But and in fact, he will. The safety car is going to pick up second. Oh, well, this could be difficult to figure out. And we'll get to the bottom of it. So Dantas is actually going to be in the... I can't remember who it was. It might have been Danny Davison, actually. I can't remember. But somebody was in the great situation in the Red Bull Ring round that they were able to make their pit stop while everybody else was caught behind the safety car. Unfortunately, the Cayman has been sent out to pick up second place, not the leader.
That's partly because Dantas is going to go into pit lane now. He has to go into pit lane.
And if he doesn't, he's absolutely lost his mind.
Get
in the pit lane.
Go.
Okay.
There you go. This is basically his free stop, because effectively he is the leader. And somebody got stuck behind. Where is the blinking safety car? Hold on. Who got stuck in behind the safety car? Safety car's blinking. That's not going to help me. Oh, Christ. Well, this could be difficult. The safety car's picked up a lap car here, but is it going to get out ahead of Dantas here? I think that's why it's speeding around so quickly. But Dantas is already on the pit exit here. It could be quite a race off pit lane now. Here we go. Dantas out of pit lane. Where's the safety car? It's going to come through. There it is. So, is he going to get ahead of Zeltweger here? He's going to be quite close. They're racing on the pit exit here. And Zeltweger's going to try and get through. Oh, he is going to get through as well. And Dantas pushed for a stop. Depends if he was told pit lane was closed.
Why is he stopped there?
Depends if he was told pit lane was closed. If he was told by RC pit lane was closed, he wouldn't. I don't know. But unfortunately for Dantas, he is behind Vella and he is behind Zeltweger. And there's a couple of lap cars sitting in front of him here. Who are they? Ryder and Burkhart's are sat in front at the moment. So they should go round.
Mark Hilly is going to be a lap down, because he is actually a lap down, but these two have just been caught between the safety car and the leader, so they need to be let through, really. Partly because restarting with a lap car at the front of the field would be ludicrous and a bit of a mess, but mainly because it's unfair on these guys who are not legitimately a lap down, would be put one lap down by this. So Peacock now slows down because I'm not really sure why the pace car left the pit lane in the first place, to be honest, when it hadn't picked up the leader yet. See why it doesn't just wait, but anyway, it's holding 70 kilometres an hour now. And the rest of the field will now catch up. We'll probably have a couple of laps under safety car here. But the order is pretty much as it was. Zeltwanger's up to the lead, though, ahead of Vella, who's down to second. Blantas is still third, although the drivers ahead of him are different. And the driver up behind him is different as well. Curtis Webb's moved up. Marcus Watson has moved down a bit, but he'll be hoping on the short run he'll have more pace than he did on the long run, as those two cars are let through as they should be. And then it's Danny Davison, who's in sixth place. So the time loss that he would have had has effectively been eradicated now. He is no longer going to be, 5 or so seconds behind like he was going to be. Safety cars still put him in sixth place. He's not gained any places, but he is closer than what he was before.
Yeah, it definitely is. So for him, great job overall. But yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to deal with the tower a minute. It seems to be frozen from me. I've got no control over the tower, which is a little bit weird. So give me 2 seconds on that while I try and figure out why I've got no control over the tower.
Oh, crikey. It looked fine to me. I don't know what was...
Oh, there we go. I have now, but for a brief moment now, I had no control over that whatsoever. Very weird. Never mind. Sorry.
Okay. I didn't see anything wrong with it, but anyway. They're still weaving around behind safety car. We'll see here whether the safety car pulls in right now and doesn't bother waiting for those cars down the back of the field to catch up again, or whether it will wait, and whether it will speed up if it does wait or doesn't. Here we'll find out in a few moments' time. It is speeding away from the field now. It isn't going to wait for those three to get involved, so it's going to be Zeltwanger to start here with just over 10 minutes to go. The first safety car of the season has come in round one here in the Player One Sim Gear Super Formula Lights Championship, and this is going to be exciting as the final 10 minutes get underway. Zeltwanger immediately goes, and Vella was absolutely sleeping there. What was he doing? Out of the final corner, Dantas and Webb are going to be immediately getting alongside him here towards turn one. Outside line for Webb, and he's going to get jumped now by Watson, who makes a good start. Here comes Davison down the inside as well in towards turn two. And it's not quite going to be the move this time round. Webb will hold on round the outside. The top six stay they are, but now that's a spin for Webb. He's going to be off the road at least, but he's going to drop down the field. Yeah, and there's been some big old moment. Looks like I think they've all checked up in that final corner, or they've all had some problems. I'm going to rely on the fact they've all checked up. But Phil Vella there sitting in second place. Dantes now in third. Vella missed the start altogether. How did Zeltwanger jump Vella? It was in the pit stops when the safety car was called, and that's how we did it at the same time there as well. But Dantes at the moment sitting in third. I don't know. There may be some confusion over the safety car, but we'll leave it as for now as it is. But Dantes has got the work cut out, and Vella's got to catch up with the Zeltwanger. Yeah, it's just a bit of an overcut for Zeltwanger, really, on Phil Vella, and that's how he's in the lead of this race. But it's a bad restart from Vella. He was not alert at all out of the final corner, and he has lost a big chunk of time as a result. He's still second, at least. We've got incident through turn 10 as well, by the way, for Brett Douglas, who is off the road down there. He's got back on again now, but drops all the way down the field, unfortunately, to 26th. There's a few people in towards the hairpin, meanwhile. Separate. There's been a couple of people who've had their own dramas. Oh, wheel to wheel. Yeah, that car on the inside just clipped the inside curb. Oh, and that was Jay Dixon. Joined there by. Oh yeah, Jay Dixon got joined by somebody else, though, is what I mean. This is Brett Douglas. Oh, just ran off himself there. So, his cars are a lot more oversteery this season, I've got to say, than what they are normally, the Super Formula Lights. I don't like the look of this. Who making it out the pit lane for some reason. That must have been a while ago. No, it's not. It's literally recently. Okay, so he slows right down and allows them through before he exits. So there we go for Thomas Donahue. You can see the gravel coming on, but Watson over the back of Dantes at the moment. Dantes lost a little bit of time to Phil Vella. There's also still action down in the silvers. Fahey still leading the way with Adrian Loretti tucked in right behind him. Ahead is Dan Byrne and Liam Kerr, who are going two for now. Well, they were until Dan Byrne's just gone and done that. That's going to put Fahey right around, trying to go around the outside with Loretti tucked in right behind him. So gold and silver still ahead, and Fahey up 22 from the back end and leading the class there as well. Drive going through car 11, pit lane breach. Dantas, that's Dantas. And was that for, as you speculated at the time, I didn't think we did close pit lane in this series at all, so I didn't know that was a rule. But maybe that was it. Maybe it was something else for Dantas to be able to. We'll get clarification, because I wasn't aware of a pit lane closing, but that could be for the 2 out of the last 3 safety cars. Flavio Dantas has either of his own making or somebody else's. He has dropped down significantly because of not making the pit stop quite in the right way in the safety car phase.
Confirmed there was a pit lane closure, so the pit lane was closed and he must have exited pit lane. Either that, it was closed, or it was closed on entry or exit, but either way, he's been naughty. He was instructed to slow and he didn't. Oh, okay. So basically, when the safety car come out, Dantas was told to slow down and go in behind him. Dantas didn't do that. Dantas went round and took his pit stop. So there we go.
Okay.
So he disregarded a clear order, Flavio Dantas.
Okay.
It's like me when the wife gives me a list to do and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
Drive-through penalty for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, drive through the sofa in the evening. Anyway,
or sleep on the sofa in my case. So there you go. Yeah, then he was told pit lane was closed and he exited pit lane and rejoined the train. So either way, he's been a bit naughty with the old pit stops, as McDonnell is trying to go up the inside of Scotty Bartain. And yeah. Oof, Scotty getting his elbows out. Go Scotty.
And you'd imagine that McDonnell is going to get through here. Well, no, not this time. In towards turn 1. Did have an incident earlier, McDonnell, which put him at quite a long way down. So he's regaining places from there, and I think he will probably end up in 6th by the end. But he's only got 5 minutes left here. As they go over the line there, 4 laps to go as well in this race. So a few laps knocked off for the safety car, as you would expect. The first one of the season. We only got 2 last season from memory. I'm pretty sure it was 2, so we will see how many it is this time round, but for the moment it looks like it's going to be a run to the end from here, as McDonnell looks again down the inside of Bartain, and he gets through, but too late on the brakes, and he loses 6th place almost as quickly as he got it.
Yeah, he did all the hard work. He'd done the overtake and then went and completely messed it up on the entry. So unfortunately for him, he's going to have to try that one again. Fahey's still leading the silvers. Lorelli's dropped back a little bit in behind that. Dougie Gowans has got a nice little battle in behind him. Of course, Swadlin, Pocock, Knitzer all there. And then Robillard is having a right old little ding-dong with Tristan McLaren, but they are in the same team, so I don't know how much of a ding-dong they're actually going to have.
Well, exactly, yeah. Is it going to be McLaren letting through Robillard, because that's the order they ended up in last season? These two were challenger drivers. They were challenging Josh Marsh as well for that title, but they weren't able to quite get it off him. It's weird, isn't it, how Silver actually seems to be a lot closer of a battle than what Gold is at the moment. Zellweger and Vella 8 tenths apart or so. Doesn't look like Vella's getting close enough to do anything really at the front of the race, but in Silver it's all very close.
Yeah, it is as well. The only really close battle is this one with Scotty Bartain and Jordan McDonnell. Angus Milne has just gone up the inside of Darren Fahey, but that's not a class battle. That's probably Fahey saying, look, I'm in the lead, off you go, son. And he's gone through. I think actually that was a back marker that Angus Milne just overtook there. No, it wasn't. That was actually Liam Kerr. So him and Liam Kerr have been having a little bit of a swapwards, backwards and forwards there at the same time. But Scotty Bartain still on the defence from Jordan McDonnell, and it was rule 8.6 and 8.6A is what Flavio Dantas broke there out of the rule book in regards to being told to slow for the safety car, and he didn't, and he just went and took it.
Something I've realised in my time in doing commentary on series with safety cars, because this isn't the only one I've seen it done. A lot of drivers simply just can't quite get their head around safety car rules sometimes. I can't quite understand why, but maybe it's because I watch these races from sort of an overall picture. It's easier for me to see, and maybe it'd be more complicated when you're in a race, which I can certainly understand. But as meanwhile, McDonnell goes down the inside of Bartain. It really seems to confuse some people what the rules are and what they should be doing. Wouldn't be surprised to learn at the end of the day that Dantas is surprised he got a penalty and surprised he did anything wrong there, because in my experience, Not with Dantas. I haven't seen him dealing with safety car before, but generally with drivers, they don't really seem to have much of an idea what's going on.
No, I think the problem was Adrian, they're having a big old moment. I think the problem was, it depends on what the clear instruction was. If the problem is the safety car normally comes out and waits for the leader. If the safety car had already come out of pit lane after he'd already gone, I don't see what he's done wrong, because the safety car's come out too early or too late. So I'm a little bit confused by that as well, for as far as Dantas' rule may be closed. And the thing is that probably closing the pit lane was to hold him up. And of course Dantas is sitting there going, well, what have I done wrong here? Can you clarify this rule for me? Because you've come out of pit lane behind me. Why all of a sudden am I going to have to hit the brakes and slow down? It's your job to pick me up. So I can see where the confusion would lie from Dantas on that one, because I think I would sit there and go, well, why are you out behind me? Why haven't you come out of pit lane and slowed down and waited for me to come round, or picked up the next leader and allowed me to go into pit lane? So, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a sticky one, and I expect there might be a definitive rule change. But telling him to slow down when you've already missed him, I find that a little bit harsh.
Is that definitely what happens? He had to slow down so that the safety car could overtake him?
Yeah, so basically he was instructed to slow to go behind the safety car, and he didn't, then entered pit lane. He was then said that the pit lane was closed, or the pit exit was closed. That was to slow him down, and he came out and joined the train anyway. So he can't slow. This is the thing. I think if you've missed him, that's not his fault. Personally, that's how I would see that.
I need to read some of this myself and try and figure out what's going on, because listening to somebody else explain it is not helping my brain.
How more basic do you want me to put it? Do you want me to draw you a picture?
No.
Shall I get the crayons out?
No, I need to figure out for myself. I'll do it after the race, though, because there are only seconds remaining here, and the end of lap 28 is going to be the end of the race. Close for silver third there. That wasn't going to be a change, though. Lee Zeltwanger is under pressure at the very end of this race. Could be the dream start to his season for Lee Zeltwanger, who was having a good season at periods last time up, but only ended up 12th in the standings, much like Ovella, really. They were 11th and 12th at the end of the first season of the Player One Sim Gears Super Formula Lights Championship. Well, it looks like this time round they're going to get off to the perfect start. Can they continue this on? That very much remains to be seen, but it's going to be a great start to the season for them. Lee Zeltwanger makes his way out of the final corner, and he wins here at Jerez. The opening round of the Player One Sim Gears Super Formula Lights Championship goes to him, just in front of Phil Vella. It's going to be Darren Fahey, who's in the lead of the silver class, going to take the win here as well. Out of the final corner he comes, and he will take the win ahead of Ryder. And it's going to be close for second, or third rather, in the silver class, over the line. And there it is, side by side. Vaughan Ryder just hangs on from Will Ryan, who finishes fourth in the end, down 4 from where he qualified in 10th. He'll be a bit disappointed with that, but a close finish in the silver category, and a closer finish actually, that you'd say, than what we saw overall at the front of the race.
Yeah, definitely was as well. Right, clarification on 8.6, okay? Pitting under safety cars. So this is the rule that apparently he broke. Pit entry is always open. Pit exit will be controlled by race control. Pit exit will be closed while the safety car and the following train passes pit entry and pit exit, which is where they was at the moment he came out. Race control will announce when pit exit closed and pit exit open. In the event of race control fails to make an announcement, the pit exit is considered closed whenever the safety car and the train of cars behind are passing it. So basically what they're saying is, A, he was instructed to slow down and he didn't. B, they were coming past pit exit and he joined the train.
Yeah, that bit makes sense. That bit about the pit exit makes sense. The bit about slowing down so the safety car could overtake him makes no sense to me at all. I can't... That's why I need to figure it out for myself, because I can't...
This is the rules that he's
no matter how many different ways...
This is the
no matter how many different ways I... No matter how many different ways I hear you explain it, I can't get my head around why that would be ever a thing.
Well, as I said, he was instructed to slow behind me. That's what I was told from Jimmy, who was driving the car.
Okay, well, I'll figure it out later. Lee Zeltwanger, meanwhile, is the race winner here tonight. Overall, that is, ahead of Phil Vella. by 1.1 seconds in the end. Marcus Watson nearly 3 seconds behind. Battle for fourth went the way of Danny Davison in the end, ahead of Jordan Mazzaroli, the best of the new drivers in the Sprint Series this season. Fifth place for him, ahead of Jordan McDonnell and Scott Partine, who battled towards the end as well. Liam Kerr, drivers champion from last season, only 8th to start with here this season. And David Gallo and Angus Milne running out just outside the top 10 was the silver winner, Darren Fahey. Then it was Adrian Loretti and Vaughan Ryder to round out the top 3. Will Ryan and Douglas Gowans are in the top 5. It's all one group here, by the way. Scott Pocock, Jake Robillard and Tristan McLaren were all involved as well, though Robillard and McLaren were on a battle of their own for everything simulated racing. Chris Swadling and Curtis Webb round out the top 20, with Brett Douglas next after that off-track gravel moment on the restart. It was Seth Burgett's next, ahead of Daniel Ackland, Flavio Dantes, all on the lead lap, but all with problems towards the end there. Ben Ryder finishing over 2 minutes down somehow around this lap. Is a bit strange. But 26 for him, ahead of Jay Dixon, who was 1 lap down, along with Mark Hilly. Marcus Knitzer was just 2 laps down, and he might be the only one remaining to have actually got points there. We'll see who gets points though from this. They might all get points because they've all been here. Tom Donoghue 30th ahead of Jack Mara, who caused the safety car. Josh Marsh, who retired just before it, along with Kane Ryder, Jason Madden and Craig Edwards, who both retired quite early on in the race. Let's have a chat to Lee Zeltwager then, the race winner from the opening round of the season, and welcome in, Lee. Congratulations on the race win. It's a safety car restart, the first safety car last season. You were the cause of it, unfortunately, because you were upside down. This one a little bit different. How does it feel to take the opening round of the season?
It feels really great. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I got a bit lucky with the safety car there. Fortune played in my hands a bit, but happy to stay with the guys at the front. I think we had good pace, and I was just settling into the race, seeing what would happen. If things went my way, it's always a benefit. But always a great start to the season to get a win, and hopefully we can carry it on throughout the season.
Do you think that the reason you jumped Phil Vella by going 1 lap longer was entirely because of the safety car, or was it a more traditional overcut that meant that you could get past?
I didn't plan it at all, so the safety car was just pure luck. Just being at the right place at the right time. Just coming out of the last few corners, and safety car being called on was perfect. So I was able to pit. Flavio actually went another lap, which I knew I couldn't because I would get affected by a safety car and having to wait in the pit lane. So yeah, it was just perfect, and yeah, I guess the overcut worked. Just unfortunate for Phil. It's just not his fault, but he was right there with me at the end, so it was just a race to the finish line, and I'm happy I could just keep him off my tail for just long enough. But he had the pace, and he was putting me under a bit of pressure. So yeah, last few laps were nerve-wracking, but fun.
Yeah, it was close towards the end of the race, that's for sure. And what about the season? How can you take this and move this on now? Because last season you were up towards the front in the championship at stages, but finished 12th. How can you sort of stay up there, if you like, this time round?
I just got to be consistent this season. Not make mistakes. Just say if I'm in the top 5, just take the points. Not risk anything. Don't be too aggressive at starts, which I was doing last season a bit, which cost me. Just working on my racecraft a bit, just being matured in my racing, but also being aggressive at the right times, just so I can hopefully finish each race. And then I think consistency is the key to winning a championship. So that's the plan, and it's been a good start.
Right, well, it certainly has. Congratulations on the win. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yep. Big shout out to Auto Moves Racing Team, all their sponsors: Sim Magic, Sim Black, Custom X Graphics, a few more. Sorry, I forgot. All the boys on the team.
Write them down, son. Come on, get your post-it note and stick it on your monitor.
It's one I forgot. I have a picture right here, actually. It's a bit blurry. I have a car of Liam Kerr's car flipping over the fence, which I'm just looking at right now. So it's not the best photo, but so I'm just There's one more, but I'll remember it next time. I'll get a sticky pad and I'll remember it. But all the boys, Dylan Cole, the team boss, big shout out to them. You guys for running almost back-to-back season. It feels like it's great. Everything's really organized, and I'm having a lot of fun. And to you guys doing the commentary, I always love watching them back. And Tom for organising everything, I really appreciate it. And yeah, looking forward to the next few weeks of racing.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that first race win of the season. And we'll see if there's any more to come. But for now, thanks for chatting to us, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, man.
Thanks very much. There's the winner tonight from Jerez. Doesn't look like anybody else has come. Phil Vella's just popped in at the right moment. We're a bit worried there. So we'll have a chat with him in second place tonight from the opening round. Phil, welcome in. Good to have you with us, and congratulations on second place in the opening race of the season. Do you feel it's a bit of an opportunity missed for a race win here tonight, or are you satisfied to come second?
I don't think I'm ever satisfied to come second, JP.
Well, Ewan asked it, mate. Nothing to do with me.
Oh,
I wouldn't have asked that question,
Ewan. Yeah.
Phil. I would have said, look, son, unlucky. I know you would have been upset. Ewan's got a different perspective, mate. Blame him.
Yeah, I appreciate the optimist in you, Ewan. Look, amongst a field of this quality, like, you've got folk like Lee, the Webb brothers and Flavio and co. And there are two really strong teams out there in kind of auto moves, and I think they're Max Boost with Marcus. A bunch of them ran like an awesome race, just great pace. It's difficult conditions out there, and hard to maintain a pace when you want to push for a little bit more, but as soon as you start to slide, you really put a lot of heat into the tyres. I think it was 38, 39 degrees track temp, so it really it got a bit loose at times.
I've just noticed your comment in YouTube, by the way. I'm presuming it is from you, since it is your name. Do you feel that Lee went almost illegally too early on the safety car restart?
Look, I'll leave that to race control and the stewards team at FDL to decide, but I'm going to challenge it. I think my understanding of the rule set is safety car goes into the lane, that's announced, and then control of the field is announced to the leader. And so we're probably going to have a technical argument about whether that's before or after the statement's finished. But again, I don't want to take anything away from Lee's race to maintain that pace. I ran a 1:31.6 trying to chase him down. I just couldn't get there. So, he obviously had the pace to win too.
Congratulations on finishing second place, nevertheless. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, look, a big thanks to the DFR team. Big thanks to the folk at Kittens. The Bad Dragon butt kicker collab that we've been working on has been really good, and I'm looking forward to that being productised and helping sim racers elevate their game everywhere. A big thanks to my wife for making the time to allow me to enjoy this hobby. I really I like to get in and practice for this, and with this quality of field, I have to be competitive, and so. And obviously Tom, season 1 was awesome and super competitive, and it's great to see things backing up for season 2 and a higher strength of field as well. Just getting talented folk in I think a hard part of running a competition of this scale, and obviously to the race control and stewards as well. They had a busy night, so a lot of work done by them to try keep things in order.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on starting the season with a podium, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Thanks very much. Phil Vella, second place here tonight from Jerez, despite leading for much of the race, and indeed getting the pole position here today as well. It looks like it's just about going to be it. If there is a silver class driver, by the way, watching this back or whatever, or watching now indeed, and you're on the podium in one of these races, then do put yourself in the waiting room, and we can have a chat. I just hope why Marcus Watson hasn't come in, probably because he's a new driver. I don't suspect he realises that we do this at the end of the day, so we'll hopefully have more people to chat to next week as we continue on with the Player One SimGear Super Formula Lights Championship. But a good start to the season, a good win for Lee Zeltwanger. Now then, this is an interesting replay. This is when the safety car came out. Is that what they mean about not? Okay, I understand now. That replay is very helpful. Thanks for showing that. That's what they mean. The safety car was waiting. We said, why didn't the safety car wait for the leader to pick him up? Well, they did. And the leader said, please don't pick me up. I'm going to go through. And so that is the penalty. That makes all of a sudden a lot more sense.
Good. Glad I can clear that up for you. So there we go. There you go. That was a clarification on the old safety car rule. So there we go. Once more.
Oh, okay, I feel better now. I can rest easy now. it was starting to really get on my nerves. Why I couldn't figure out what was going on. Anyway, we figured it out now. So or I figured it out. Everyone else
figured it out. I gave you the replay. We figured it out as a collective, Mr. O'Leary.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. To be honest, I didn't do anything to figure it out. I just watched.
Exactly. I figured it out for you. Well, there we go.
Yeah, I was going to wait till afterwards. I was going to start messaging people and all sorts. What's going on here? Okay, I don't have to anymore. That's a good thing. But anyway, that's just about it from the first round of the season. A good first round of the season. I don't normally like racing at Jerez, to be perfectly honest, but I enjoyed this first round of the series. I always enjoy this series, to be honest. It is one of the best leagues we cover, and it's a great start to a new season. The championship always seems to be close, and even after the opening round of the season here, obviously it's too early to read into that, but you get the feeling that there are so many drivers that could have won that race or could have got a good result that we're just in for another very similar championship here.
Yeah, I think so. And I think going forward, if this is what we're going to have, if there's people in gold and silver all able to go and, move up, Fahey up 24 places, bro. That is epic and takes the win. So I'm looking forward to it. If it's going to be like that all season, we're in for a proper barnstormer.
Yeah, especially well done to Darren Fahey, biggest gainer today, and indeed the silver win as well. As I mentioned, any silver drivers who want to come over and chat with us next week, especially if you're on the podium, then please feel welcome to do so. But that's just about it from the FDL Super Formula Light Sprint Series here for the opening night at Jerez. It's been a great race to get the season underway with. As always, a big thanks to the sponsors who make this series possible, including Player One Gear, the title sponsors for this season, but also Print Racer, Ridgeway Racing Setups, RSW Graphics, Everything Simulated, and Capstone Marketing as well. Great to have them all on board for Season 2 of the Championship. It's been a dramatic start to the season here at Jerez, but for the next 8 weeks, we will be racing here on Tuesday nights in Australia, Tuesday lunchtime over in Europe, so I hope that you're going to enjoy the racing with us next week from the Hockenheim Ring as well, where myself and James will be back for round number 2. For now, though, from myself, Ewan and James Parfitt alongside me, it's goodbye from Jerez, and see you in 1 week's time at the Hockenheim Ring. Goodbye for now.